Hello and welcome to J-Train Studios. It's about that time of year again. I went back on vacation. And this year, I decided to do something a little out of the ordinary. My family and I took a trip aboard an incredible cruise. It was the most exquisite, elegant, amazing carnival. It was carnival, but it was still fun. In fact, I even saw this thing on the way there. The night before we boarded our cruise, we stopped in a hotel which had these interesting things in the room. And then as we entered the port, we got to see some interesting embedded railroad tracks circling the whole area. In fact, the port was huge. It had a parking lot and a railroad track going straight through the middle of it, alongside buildings until it reached an endpoint, at which it could load onto another building. A quick look around our room found a handful of alarm devices, including a smoke detector and a general alarm. Interestingly, these weren't American, reminding you that these ships are on international waters. Before we left, we did an emergency drill, including the room's alarm signals and the ship's horn. Shortly after that, we got another video of the horn sounding while we departed. Later in the trip, I would film the horn up close. Here I look down at the lifeboats and realize they too have horns. They're small, but they are interesting. There's also multiple more alarms mounted on the control panel for releasing the lifeboats. Alright, now it's time to introduce the loudspeakers. This boat has tons of loudspeakers. Every outdoor hallway has them. So what are they? Here's one of the most common models. It's round and it's made of plastic. These are found all over the outside of the ship and function as the PA speakers for the announcement system. Most of these had worn-off tags, but I eventually found and got a photo of one. Later I got this video.
Guest services located on the promenade. Deck 2 midship or by dialing extension 7777. Thank you.
As we left our dock, a nasty storm had started up, not far from us. This would eventually reach us and make it much creepier to pass the Baltimore Bridge that had collapsed many months ago. One thing to note here is the scale of this picture. That's a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes on either side with divided barriers. It just looks so small because the ocean waves are much larger than we realize. Just as we finished passing it, the bridge was enveloped in a deep fog. It really added to the eeriness of the situation before we turned onto our cruise. Anyway, let's see what else our cruise has to offer. Much of the ship's indoor PA system consisted of speakers that had these cheese grate covers. Our room was one of the few variations from this, featuring this interesting box which was actually under a desk. The other variation was in the theaters of the ship, often featuring different speakers unique to each theater. The outside of the ship had the previously mentioned circular speakers and 2 versions of rectangular speakers, each unique. These gray ones were only found on the promenade levels below the top deck. I would later notice that they were all separately controlled and next to the lifeboats. Here's the tag for the first rectangular speaker. The ship had an abundance to offer in terms of alarms. A few alarms were special cases only used for specific things, such as the tan alarm with the orange lens. Most others were repeated throughout the ship, but some were for different purposes. The main use, however, was for the ship's general alarm. Every area also included these manual break glass stations. After that thorough tour, I think we better see what the vacation destinations have to offer. This was around the Bahamas. The first building we entered was a shop. It had a roof-mounted fire alarm and a security system on the outside with some sort of bell box shown here. Then we passed a jail sort of area with what looked to be 2 Federal Signal Select tones, although I can't confirm for sure. After that, it was back to a couple more fire alarms, this time from the US, and an out-of-place Starbucks with a US-centered alarm system. After saying hi to a new friend, I took a quick video of the PA system at the dock. Before re-entering, I made sure to snap a quick photo of the ship's bell. Seeing as we were about to leave, I decided to take a video of the ship's horn. I do not have hearing protection. I don't know when it's gonna go. I'm doomed. Horns on the gray mast on the tiny boat down there. That's why. The ship appears to use 2 separate horn blasts, a long horn to signify it moving, and 3 horns to signify some direction it's moving. According to train rules, that would be backward, but I don't know if that's for sure here. Bird. The bird you just saw was one of the very many pigeons or seagulls or some sort of thing that, yes, we did see attacking someone for having food on the outside of the ship. Also, I think this stage area was featured on The Amazing Race, but I'm not sure. With that, we pulled out of our destination and headed to our next. Our next would feature a modulator, but I'll show you that in a sec. First off, the port had multiple railroad tracks going around it, and there was another cruise ship pulling in behind us. I noted a few of the loudspeakers on the ship. They're hard to see here, but are in the middle hanging underneath that balcony. It was also storming, and here you can actually see the modulator I was talking about. It's located on the island and appears to just be a general warning siren. Here's a better photo I got of the siren, along with another siren that was nearby in the other port. While I was at it, I snapped a photo of the other ship's horn. It's seen here in the middle and has a red inside. After making this beautiful drawing of the mustache man, it was finally time to head back home. We crossed the railroad tracks in the port once again, then headed on our way down the highway. We got to see the cruise ship for one last time as we pulled out. Oh, wait, I forgot to show you one of the clips. Okay, let's just throw it in right here. How about that? They did an unexpected drill for the crew at the end of the cruise ship, and they included a siren test. Okay, back to leaving. We were on the highway and we were driving. So we got moving again, and yeah, we were headed out. I thought we were done, but we encountered this weird sign. For those who aren't train enthusiasts, this is the Chessie system, which is a railroad that merged into CSX and doesn't really exist anymore, but apparently their branding still exists on some railroad banks. Also, there's a square traffic light. Apparently the Burger King was radiating weirdness. Well, that was the end of our cruise officially, and the end of the video. I actually was going to buy one of the alarms seen on the ship to show you guys, but they cost like $100 to $150, so I changed my mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed.